to Smuglaroos. We're here. Smuglaroos is back in town. We're alive. And all you hear is our sounds on Broadway.
Hunter Biden.
Howdy, Hunter Bunner.
Howdy, so yeah, he did not do cocaine in the Oval Office, but
there was no cocaine found in the White House present of the time of the cocaine being in the White House.
That was what his hearing was about?
No.
His hearing was about tax evasion and gun charges.
Tax evasion and gun? Who the fuck is this man?
What do you think? He's a gangster. I've been trying to tell y'all he's a gangster. He's Tony Montana.
He's not Tony.
Who not?
You sure you want to talk about Tony Montana?
Look, Hunter Biden is.
Well, are you sure you want to talk about Tony
gangster.
Montana? I'm just saying, if you was Tony Montana, I wouldn't want to talk about Tony Montana. Because I understand the consequences of talking about Tony Montana.
The real Tony Montana not living no more. But the real Tony Montana.
But you saying he Tony Montana?
He's the president.
You know who he is.
Son. He's the son of a president of the United States, a public official, and that's what makes his actions more damning. Go ahead, Rob, my bad.
No, I was about to say, have y'all ever seen Sin City, the first one?
Yes.
The senator's son. Roosevelt shot his penis off.
That was crazy.
He's that type of nigga.
So after a 5-year investigation, Hunter Biden had been expected to plead guilty to charges of tax evasion and agree to a diversion program for a charge related to gun possession.
Did he plead not guilty?
He was expected to plead guilty, but apparently the plea deal fell apart because of a confusion that was happening in the court and not politics or nothing like that. So it was a 3-hour hearing. The U.S. District Judge Mary Ellen Noriega, who was overseeing the case and was appointed by former President Trump.
Manuel Noriega.
Mary Ellen Noriega.
That was a Trump judge. That's why he did. She wasn't giving no leniency.
Expressed concern that the agreement would have improperly placed her in charge of whether Biden fulfilled the terms of the part of the agreement that dictated that felony gun charges would be dropped if he complied with certain conditions, such as refraining from using controlled substances or alcohol for 2 years. So federal prosecutors, who are members of the executive branch, bring charges for failure to comply with plea deals, not judges. However, the plea agreement provided that if there were a disagreement about whether, all right, go ahead. This is a lot of talking.
So, I'm like, is they getting them for, like, a probation violation or some shit? Because
I think
they violated the plea deal.
So what's happening is there's a lot of political drama surrounding Hunter Biden because House Republicans investigated him, then investigated those who they chose to investigate him based on allegations that he received preferential treatment from federal investigators and prosecutors, despite the fact that the federal prosecutor leading the investigation was nominated by Trump and has emphatically said he was given the discretion to handle the case as he saw fit. So some House Republican claimed that members of the IRS and the Justice Department engaged in misconduct to shield the president's son from additional legal liability.
Yeah.
Right. I heard about that too.
So that's what is going on.
That's what the holdup is. So he's going to jail. That's why they're not about to let him plead.
They're going to resume the plea agreement, but it's just under that. So it was just another detour because The issue was not resolved during the hearing, which the plea agreement unraveled. But despite all the political theatrics that preceded Wednesday hearing, in the end, an inquisitive federal judge and prosecution defense attorneys who never came to a meeting of the minds were enough to unravel the most politically charged plea deal we have seen in decades. So the law holds, not politics, in this situation. So which means that basically this is putting their finger over the conspiratorial flame. Because at the same time, politics is just to get us all riled up about what's going on with Hunter Biden. But in the legal field, even the people that were appointed by the previous president, who was a Republican, deems it not that big of a deal. And it's not unscrupulous beyond measure. Like, this is a criminal. Sure, he's about to plead guilty to something that he shouldn't have done. Tax evasion and, gun charges. And plus, he probably thinks he's moving with impunity because his dad was a public figure. Now the president of the United States can't do it.
I hear what you're saying. They saying that it's not that big of a offense. But they sent Wesley Snipes to jail for tax evasion.
Lauryn
Hill to jail for tax evasion. They sent T.I. to jail for guns.
5 years.
I agree. But my thing is, I wouldn't stop in saying that there's a dual system for the President of the United States' son and for those individuals. I would say there's a two-part system for a white person and a black person. I'll agree with that. I agree
with you that that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, I agree that Hunter Biden does have some sort of responsibility to adhere to the law, bro. Of course.
Fuck him being the president's son. If he was any white man's son, he getting off with
doing cocaine, fucking with strippers, getting one pregnant, eluding her. Doing cocaine in the White House potentially,
living the life of a nigga,
living a life as a superstar, like you Chet Hanks or something.
They get a pass,
bro. And he's in his 50s.
He's gangster.
He's in his 50s. He's not even like a 35-year-old kid. This is a 50 not
his
kid,
name is
adult
Gangsta
man.
Biden. His name not Hunter. It's Gangsta Biden.
But at the same token, though, he can be a criminal. My bad. I didn't want to cut you off on that joke.
I was going to tell him put some respect on his name. He said stop talking in my name in vain.
So what?
Respecting his name.
I said, are you sure you want to talk about Tony Montana? I was respecting Tony Montana.
So on one hand, this guy is a legit criminal. We can all agree with that. He did do unscrupulous things, immoralistic things that we wouldn't even do.
I'm sorry,
president son or not.
If I personally knew him, I would be rooting for him to go to jail.
Yes.
We can have that conversation, but we should also have the other conversation that there are people in Congress that are utilizing his misconduct to try to delegitimize what Biden is doing in the presidency. And I think there's a duality that we have to keep tabs of. One hand, this guy should be taken to wherever jail or justice needs to be served on him. But on the other hand, we have to remain diligent in the face of just outright dog whistle politics, things that really just say, oh, this president has a fucked up son who is using his name to get away from crimes and get away from being justice. You know what I'm saying, like all that. And I get that argument, but at the same token, you were keeping quiet when 3 of the former president's sons and daughters had secret security clearance. Hunter Biden doesn't have secret security clearance. He's just the son of the president, like he's supposed to be. Whereas the Trumps, Ivanka, Jared Kushner, and all the other ones had security clearance, bro. They were doing stuff with the Saudi Arabian government, which they had gotten in trouble with in court,
right?
That the Republicans didn't want to hijack. And this is like, listen, if you want to keep it consistent, if they said something then, I will be right on their back right now. Like, yeah, fuck the Democrats. I'm right with you, Republicans. But guess what? You didn't say shit when the previous president did it. And on a higher level and more explicit in your face, because you were afraid of your job.
But real quick, you don't think they said anything he's about to go to jail?
What do you mean?
And it's not like the kids have been all reprimanded for what they did with whatchamacallit.
Yeah, they had to pay money.
Which the same thing is going to happen to Hunter Biden.
Yeah, I mean, but he shouldn't have to pay money. He should actually serve some sort of prosecutorial.
Just like they should have.
But they did, but it was only monetary. It wasn't like energy or time expenditure, like go to jail or community service.
Yeah, exactly.
Or probation.
But they're going to get the same type of
due process.
Whooping.
And that's my point. But that's my point, though. Politics aside, the legal field is keeping them tabula rasa, all blank. Everything is blank. One case versus another case, no matter who the fuck it is. Right?
Yeah.
That's how the court system should work.
Yeah.
And I think that deserves a round of applause. because the political system is just all about theatrics, performative. Just trying to rally their base to say this president is fucking whack. He's unscrupulous. He's a person who does bad things.
But they do this every time.
Every president and every side does it, and it's becoming more explicit when we get older. But when Obama did it, I wasn't really keeping tabs of how bad it actually was. Obama actually got it worse than previous presidents, except for Bill Clinton. But that wasn't only when Bill Clinton touched a girl and got his dick sucked, right? Like that was the only time they got mad at him.
I'm not saying Obama didn't need to strike back because he knew he was going to win.
He didn't. He played politics really well, and that's why Barack Obama is a royalty. He's American royalty.
Right.
Trump is not royal.
That man knew he was going to win. He was like, bro, I'm black. I did Chicago for how many years? How many years was he?
For 4?
4 in Chicago.
Yeah, as a senator. He's a U.S. senator.
Yep.
No, so senators do 6 years.
6 years in Chicago as a senator. These good black people out here gonna fucks with me. Throw all that dirt you want. I'm an immigrant. What? Birth certificate right here.
Birtherism. All these things. Like Trump gained popularity because of their insults on Trump and on Obama.
That's it. Like every president get it, and it's like Trump got it when he was in the White House with every single thing he did being scrupuloused to the point of like devil
worshiping type stuff.
No, I don't want to say demonizing him.
Yeah.
Like this nigga the devil. Now Trump getting it. Trump.
I mean,
and now Biden getting it with his family. It's a different type of.
Joe,
it's different attacks.
It's different attacks. That's what I'm saying. They keeping the pressure. It's just.
And that's my point.
Right now, like, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. I'm cutting you off.
To keep pushing, not to keep pushing, but it doesn't help Hunter Biden case that his father is not like helping him. When you have things coming out like a phone call or text message of you using your father's name as leverage.
But my thing is, like, Biden was compliant with the investigation.
No, that's 5 years. I'm saying he's compliant, but it's still a bad look.
It is, but it is.
If you saying, all right, Joe Biden is not helping them, then what's going on now?
No, I agree.
With all this,
it's a bad look that he's using his dad's name to conduct business overseas. Yeah, I highly agree with that.
And like all that's contributing to the bad look now.
But this is tax evasion and gun charges.
Right.
This isn't about that.
But I'm saying to the political like carousel of like all this shit. There's nothing but ammo to it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
I agree with that, yeah.
It's all this shit is just ammo, like all that shit just piled up, and now the Republicans is like, all right, fuck it, we really gonna run with this.
And that's my point though, Rob. My point is the legal system kept it tabula rasa. Everything is equal. Politics is going to always tell you, try to swindle political entrepreneurs. MLM people do it. Everybody do it to, curtail people attention to their views.
And now they about to go off for 6 weeks eating mimosas,
drinking good,
and drinking steaks.
The government's closed. They didn't even fund it for.
Yes. I hate these motherfuckers, man.
They have the good jobs, man. They got
the best jobs. They got it so good.
Not better than Finesse's.
They could drink cake.
Not better than Finesse's. Technical, bro. His job is better than all of their jobs.
I ain't gonna lie. Let me tell you something. I think about joining the politics every day. Just cause think about if you just a senator, you getting what, $75,000?
$215,000.
Excuse me,
or $175,000.
$175,000.
It depends on your
and
how
all
long
I
you've
gotta
been there.
do is just keep showing face and voting
and arguing your point. But it's a lot more, and listening to your voters, hopefully, and getting the lobbyists.
Some don't do that. Some literally only go to the lobbyists, go to the job, go to the 6-week vacations, go home.
Additionally, though, I wanted to bring up this point that, and you're right, their jobs are sweet, and they really have 6-week vacations right now. But what I'm saying is, we as people who are the recipients of this instant, constant, political entrepreneurship from both sides, we just gotta see what really happened. Trump,
what really matters.
Trump, yeah. To all the people on the right and how we feel as just like independent black men, like we don't want to see somebody just demonize for speaking their mind or just being who they are. On one hand, but if a guy's literally like, making a mockery of himself every day, not doing good, advisor, policies, things that fucked us up my friend's mother passed from COVID because he wasn't that diligent on the COVID relief, on the COVID response. He fumbled the bag. Millions of people died for this shit. And it's just like, yeah, I can be with him that I don't want him to be incriminated, but this man is denying our democracy, dogging our system, trying to uproot that shit, and is currently saying, I will run for president in jail. And of course niggas like us are like, yeah, that's some nigga shit. That man is the man. He's dragon energy. Kanye.
He funny as shit.
But my thing is, Trump is hilarious. Easily one of the funniest presidents of all time.
Sorry.
But that shouldn't remove us from realizing that he wasn't that good of a president. He wasn't good at his job. And Biden, despite him being sleepy, has gotten a lot of shit done. 35,000 pounds of fentanyl being caught up in a border, more than anything in the past 4 years in 1 month. That's insane.
But real quick, you remember, I hate stats. Because at the end of the day, this is why I always say, this is when you fall into the one versus the other mindset when they both just as horrible. You remember when J.P. Morgan got caught with all that cocaine and bitches on his fucking boat?
Yeah, off New
And
York.
that was during whose presidency?
Trump.
That's my point. So at the end of the day, they both are going to do stuff, right, to have the American people flip their values to one or the other type stuff. We need to recognize that neither one is good.
No one's saying that. No one's saying that one side is
always
good.
my point.
And I agree with you. And I said this in previous pods. Like, I don't want the Democratic Party just to be so much better than the Republican Party. I don't care about good or bad. I just care about who's reflecting my views. If one party's saying climate change is bad and another party's saying no, and then I'm saying it's the hottest month ever of all time, and we just had a crazy ass tornado blast yesterday, I don't want to hear about the people who are denying that shit. Granted, you're right. I don't want to get swept up in the milieu of, Democrats are always the right ones. Like, that's... No. I get that, but I'm just saying that's what the case is. I don't want that to be the case.
It's more so, what are you doing about climate change?
Who?
The Democrats.
I mean...
You saying that you want them to basically reflect your views, right? So what do they do about your views?
So it's important to know the system in place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, politics is a lot of different mechanisms moving. If one party controls one part of the Congress, another party controls another part of the Congress, it's going to be really hard to get things completed and done.
They just said the House is all Democratic. Did they not? They just said that. We was just listening to something that said...
No, the majority leader is Kevin McCarthy because the majority in the House are Republicans. It's the Senate that got one person over the Senate and over the Republicans. And guess what? They have niggas like Manchin from West Virginia and a girl from Arizona that switched their politics from Democrats to independents or just left right-leaning. And so... they can have a majority statistically, like you said, fuck the stats, right? They can have it statistically together, but if 3 of their fucking Democrats are leaning both ways, it's kind of hard to have a true majority in any house.
So again, how is that reflecting your views?
I'm not. That point right there is not reflecting.
But what I'm saying is, how can they do anything about your views?
My thing is, it's important to restructure the whole system. I'm not saying that one party is just inherently perfect, like I just said. It's about uprooting the campaign finance law system that's allowing dark money to flood politics. I think that's important. I think the gun manufacturers should get some sort of accountability for all these deaths. I'm sorry. Yeah. I think that we should attack the climate. Yeah, I agree with those things, right? But it's hard to get those things done when one party is just shit crazy. One party is fucking esoteric as fuck. Democrats who think that, I'm always right, I'm self-righteous as a motherfucker. That's not a good system to be in at all. I think we should... it's a mentality thing, bro.
And to me, I know we're off of, I guess,
Hunter Biden, but it pivots to Trump because he just got indicted. Like, some more charges have just been indicted on this man.
That's what I was about to just say. It pivots to Trump because now that more charges are on this man, now that we know that more charges will be brought upon this man, what do you think his outcome will be in jail?
We have to wait until May 2024, which is in the heart of campaign season next year, to adhere to this court case.
What about you?
It's going to be the most anticipated trial since OJ. What you talking about? I'm going to tune in to that shit.
I'm definitely tuning in.
If he swindle and get no jail time, fair enough. Trump found some way to bitch the system at that point.
He's been doing that.
Bro, but
this
ultimate
is the first time
bitch
we've
the
seen
system,
this,
bro.
This is the first time this is reach this level.
I'm sorry, bro. It's government agencies coming out.
Yeah,
real,
it's a different level
like
now.
FBI and CIA coming.
And he's not even the president anymore. He's the former U.S. president. Like, he's not even in power. Like, he's not the commander in chief.
If he duck an FBI and CIA hit,
it's only 3% people that stop that. But that's NBA Youngboy territory. But that's a lot of ifs and buts, because guess what? The Georgia prosecutors haven't even dropped their case yet.
And so you think he's going to jail one way or the other? Prison, I mean.
You know what I really think it is going on? I think the powers that be in America just don't want him to be around anymore. They want to silence him. For good measure to me, because if you're not, reflecting my personal views, I don't want your ass. I'm not really a goo goo gaga for Trump, anyways. I fuck with his type of energy. I think that America should roll with a big stick sometimes, like Theodore Roosevelt. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of how you conduct yourself,
that's a pause.
Roll with the big stick.
Big stick diplomacy, bro. That's what Teddy Roosevelt did, yo.
Say diplomacy.
It's diplomacy, bro. You know how he had to do that shit. He was like, I got a button at work. That shit right there was some gangster shit. Like, I like that, but at the same token, we're just too consolidated and too lit as a country for us to be moving like that. People already don't fuck with us for all the
crazy stuff he did
over the last 40, 50 years to stabilize the world from World War III. Like, these are the things that we shouldn't be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I honestly think they just want him to not run for office. They want
run to the sunset.
Run to the sunset.
He just won't do it.
But he just won't do it, and I think they're just gonna say, okay,
and they know
if you want to call our bluff, here's 4 more prosecutions against your ass and indictments. And this is what we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see if it's going to transpire to something nice for the one side of the party. And hopefully it doesn't, like the Republicans say, divide the country so much that it's a civil war over a person that don't give a shit. Not over Trump, right? I would hope not. But
I don't think it's going to be a civil war anymore. I think we were leaning that way for a minute, but everybody don't care no more because Sleepy Joe in there.
Yeah.
So we back to docile.
Docileness, man. I mean, the UFOs just dropped. We don't even give a fuck about that. The jobs, the economy's doing great. It's an increase of 2.5%.
That's what they say, but I don't feel it. Cars still 60,000.
Because you know why?
Houses still 400,000.
The interest rates are increasing to circumvent inflation. That's what they've been doing. So there's going to be one more hike till the end of this year, and with that hope, next year we shouldn't have any more inflation. So this time next year we should be able to get a house, refinance our cars, do something that really helps our wealth and development. But right now, it's still the effects of a bad economy from unscrupulous president and COVID-19 and a war.
My thing is, it's impossible because everything's gonna be better next year. That's why I hear them saying that. But how? When everything's going electric, houses going to be just as high because now they fixed up all the houses from this year.
No, but it's the interest rates that are making them so high.
No, I understand that, but at the end of the day, you can't sell me that we just were like cars are still being bought now. To this day, right now, we still are buying cars.
Not
for some
used cars.
Reason. Not used cars, but new, which is more.
But that's better. Because used cars. Well, my thing is used cars incur a higher APR.
Yeah,
new cars don't.
No, but in terms of what's new, right? 2024, that's what we're trying to buy. People are trying to buy the new. Used cars are being bought, don't get me wrong, but most car consumers, most house buyers want a fresh, new thing.
Yeah.
It's not something that we getting used from another house. I mean, house buyers, yes. A house, fair enough. Yes, you want a house that's been used, but even it still, interest rates still high as hell right now. And then also, you got to put stuff into your house. That's why I was trying to focus just on cars right now. That's why cars to me is a good barometer for what the economy looks like right now. So at the end of the day, if a car coming out in 2024 is going to be electric or hybrid, right? And all these cars right now, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000. Now you're going to have more technology with 2024. So now those cars still going to start out at 50.
I was saying this earlier.
But the interest rate still will be 6 to 5%. Now it's I think it's at 7 to 8 or 9, but still 5 to 6% off a $50,000 car. You still paying $750.
You still getting spent.
You see what I'm saying?
More than $750. You're looking at 8,
9. You see what I'm saying? At least 700. The average car note right now is 700.
But that's my point though. The Federal Reserve, is increasing their interest rate to combat inflation, which is to delegitimize our dollar, our money. So this time next year, our money should be worth more compared to what it is now because of those inflation combating tools such as increasing the inflation, the interest rate. And you're right, like it does, does not help us out individually trying to get a new car, trying, invest in our homes and shit, or any type of investment opportunity. But in terms of what we're looking at, in terms of, the future, like it's the ebb and flow of economy, man. It's a war, COVID. And I was saying this about the EV chargers earlier, but we kind of got a little diverted. But all of the big ass car companies, except for Tesla, are combining to increase more
EV jumps
ports throughout the Americas so we can get that. Because that's the biggest thing that we're not fucking with. The lack of ports.
Yes. That's what everybody keeps saying, that EVs is not going to work. And not only that, it takes 20 minutes to charge a Tesla. 30 minutes to charge a Tesla.
Yeah, I need a fast car charging, Joe. Fast charge car. I need like 10 minutes.
Yeah. I'm not sitting there 20 minutes to charge my car when I can go get gas and it'd be 2 minutes.
Yes.
That's the problem right now with EV.
Nah, bro. Big facts, bro. Oh, we can do international real quick.
Yeah, we can quick fire international news.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest one that I've seen is what's happening in like Africa. I want to say
it's not. That's the only thing I saw with Africa. You got anything else?
I mean, this is always.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the African stuff is, you saw the dude. He only did he die? Did they shoot him?
No, he's still there.
Okay, well, he had like 48 hours to see where this missing money was gonna go. I don't know if they shot him or not.
Wait, what country was that?
I forgot what country that was. No. Sorry guys. We don't know the country, but
I don't want to say the wrong country.
Yes, I don't want to either.
I have the utmost respect for Africa.
Everywhere in Africa. I don't want none of y'all to come here and kill me.
No, because there's another one that there's a coup d'etat that happened in their government.
That's what I thought I was talking about.
Yeah, that's something. It's a little different though, because the money that was the president. Like, so America has withheld their money from Congo because of the coup d'etat, and the president said, "Why don't you keep that money and help your homeless population out?"
Yeah, I just seen that. I thought that. I think that's in Nigeria.
That's not Nigeria.
Niger.
It is Niger. Yeah. It is Niger, not Congo. Thank you, Rob.
Wow.
So yeah, that and also African I guess you would say finances or something are switching to the yen. Like most
so
of the countries
they basically confirmed it now that they are switching to the yen.
They're starting to slowly getting away from America, the US dollar.
I mean, honestly, they've been doing that though. Like they've been like trying to go to the lesser dollar amount to save their money because it's about inflation, right? Like it's about how important is the South African kwan to the Japanese yen or the Chinese yuan. You know what I'm saying? Like it's important to see what's happening, but you're right. Like the BRICS.
But to me, it's more so. I was seeing a financial expert, and he was like, think about if everybody does actually switch to the yen, and think about how much American dollars they would have to they could save and then pay our ass off.
That's true.
That's what they was like. At the end of the day, people sitting there thinking, now 5 years, 10 years. No, think 20. When all these countries are able to just be like, all right, we done saved, and guess what? We owe China, but China's already all throughout our daggone country.
Yeah.
They don't do that bad. I mean, they pretty bad, but they not that bad compared to what America did.
But it sucks, though, because, I mean, back in the 90s and even in the 80s, what's up?
I can't find a country that gave the war 48 hours.
Yes, I forgot who did that, dude.
First 48.
They gave that man 48 hours to come up with funds, and he could not. And literally, he was crying. He was crying up there.
He thought he can get a world donation. Not here, buddy.
No.
He started a GoFundMe for money he swindled.
That nigga said, "Please help me."
That's how I know Africans, y'all and American black people, we not different at all.
But we are, and we got to understand that there are some nuances, but still black people. Like, black is in every country. I was just telling somebody this. Like, imagine, like, you have Caribbean, you have Brazil, you have people in Britain, Germany that are black, Sweden that is black. And it's like they're dealing with their own type of class, their own, type of system over there. American blacks, probably one of the most powerful probably the most powerful black people in the world, honestly. To keep it a buck.
If we knew our power. To me, we not powerful because we don't know our power.
Exactly. And my thing is, with the African, switching the yuan, it kind of on one hand, it's cool because on one hand, like Zimbabwe, they gave up their currency because it was meaningless, it was worthless. So they had to go to China. I mean, they went to Australia first, Japanese, and now they're going to China. And it's just like, bro, like it sucks because when you're back against the wall, you just accept anything. You just accept anything just to get out of that hole. And my problem with that is it's about long-term sovereignty. And that's something very important to me. For like African development, I don't want them to depend on anybody in 20 years.
I think they're leading there.
They are leading there.
I think that's exactly where they're going.
And I think that's what's going to happen. But I just hope that those countries that are switching the currency to and those Chinese people coming in there don't take advantage of it. And I think that's my biggest hope is that they don't take advantage and like they still regain their sovereignty.
I feel like Africa is in a place now where they're not about to let nobody do nothing to them no more. I feel like they're at a place now where they're angry.
Yeah.
Because it's been a lot of stuff coming out of there where it's like, we're not letting y'all just do anything anywhere. We're not India no more.
Yeah.
Because India people, okay, go ahead, do what they want. Fair enough, that's our religion, da-da-da. African people been the same way for years, and they like, not no more. We done with that. At the end of the day, we keeping it African. And at the end of the day, you already over here, and you being peaceful over here, fine, you can stay. If you're not, bye. Straight up. And we're not giving away none of our resources no more. All y'all do is create weapons, create stuff that doesn't benefit Africa with it. That's what I've been seeing out of Africa, though.
No, yeah.
No doubt.
I mean, even like France got in trouble.
That's why I said France just got in trouble with Africa.
Yeah.
They're not playing with them no more.
Bro, I did not know.
Oh, wow. Italy intends to leave China's Belt and Road Initiative. Wow. My bad, bro.
I did not know that Nigeria is like, they money go through France.
Something like that, like 7 million or something like that.
Like, for them, like, to have any, like, world activities out there.
They gotta go through France,
through the French bank. I was like,
if it's like over 7 million, if it's like over a certain number, you gotta basically hit France. So I think it's some 7,000.
So, you know, French people.
Wow. So supporters of Niger's coup marched through the capital waving Russian flags and denouncing France. And then Palestinian factions meet in Egypt to try to reconcile as violent surges in the West Bank. Another thing about that is I brought up Israel earlier today about their laser beams, but they're conducting a lot of military operations in the West Bank right now with the Palestinians, and it's insane that we always have like, even the civil rights in 1960s, U.S. black civil rights, like that shit launched a movement throughout the entire world, and even to this day, like you see auras of that through the Palestinian cause. And I don't know, bro. It's just crazy. Like in America, we look at situations and like issues under like a weird goggle. Like, damn, that shit sucks over there. But we got problems over here too. Like we shouldn't be saying, oh, we shouldn't give Niger no money because of what's going on, or give anybody no money because of how they want to conduct affairs in their country. Like if that was the case, we shouldn't be giving Saudi Arabia money. Like Trump, real deal, supported, the guy Mohammed bin Salman when Khashoggi died. He protected him. Like our interests are vested in how it helps our interests. Like we vested in countries that fuck with us, and oftentimes we blight out their inconsistencies and their unsatisfactory actions, just because it benefits us in the long term. But I hope that changes. I hope we are able to see right and wrong, colloquially, without marred because of human, greed or insensitivities. And I just hope those countries like Nigeria, Niger, Congo, Ghana, all those countries, they just stay independent without the need for any foreign powers. And I hope they can do that. But it's gonna be a long road, but a good one.
Yeah.
Like the IMF, like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, they used to give like countries like in South America like these little contingencies. Like, oh, we'll give you this money, but you gotta do such and such. You gotta, export your businesses and import certain businesses from certain countries to stimulate their economies. And oftentimes, when they had to abide by those contingencies, they lost their sovereignty. They lost their will and their ability to control their country. Mexico is a prime example, right? Cartels are there right now. Colombia was that for a good part of the time. Nicaragua.
They still wilding over there.
Yeah, bro. So I listen. If it's a diversion from the Western country, allied, IMF, World Bank, I ain't mad at it. If you can find an alternative, hopefully it suits them, and hopefully we aren't in a position of losing our power as a country, in face of all of these new changes in world affairs.